Okay, it's saying I'm going live again, and I'm. Hi, everyone. I have no. Oh, it's working. Okay, this is take two. Hi, everyone. I am. I tried to go live. I've been waiting for a half hour. I've been so excited about today, and Facebook Facebook Live was not working. And so I was going to go to YouTube and do it there because it was getting so frustrating. So, in any case, I'm here. Hopefully, you're now seeing me live. I will, let's see, I'm just going to wait to hear from you guys. Okay, I'm telling you all I'm live now on another stream in Facebook. Okay. All right. Yay, you see me. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Hi, everyone. Okay, now I can see the comments. This is working. It just like there was nothing happening. Hi, beauties. So good to see you all. Maybe I just wasn't supposed to start until 12:12. You know how numbers like will tell you certain things and have certain messages, so it's kind of funny. In the meantime, I'm just like, oh my gosh, why isn't this working? So is just checking with everyone. Are you wearing your soul color? Yep, I see my magenta soul sister there. Annette, hello. I'm wearing my magenta, which is, it has a lot of pink in it, which is not really my soul color, but pink is a colored child of red violet, which is magenta. And we're going to be wrapping ourselves in our soul colors in a little bit. But I wanted to cover a few things, just this vision that has come forward 3 different times. And I figured the third time it came through, I think it was on Saturday, and I'm like, oh, that means I really should share it. I can't be chicken about this stuff. So, but one of the things that's going to be happening, and I've made myself notes because there's a lot I want to share with you. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are wrapped. I see Amy's wearing her blue-green. Awesome. So, here's the one thing that keeps coming forward. By the end of this week, we're all going to be going crazy. And if we haven't already, being inside has been, at first, it was a shock, I'm sure. Hello, Tarver. But now we're at that point. I think it's like week 3 for those of us in the US. And I know Italy and a lot of Europe is ahead of us by a few weeks. So we're all going through this process together. And there was a woman, it was yesterday, they showed a funny little video of her who, it was in New York City. She leaned out her window in her high rise and just screamed at the top of her lungs, I'm bored. And I remember when I would say that to my mom when I was a kid, Mom, I'm bored. What should I do? She'd be like, oh, go play in the traffic, go outside, go outside, go and play. And we can't do that. We can't go outside. So that's the thing, is that we're stuck inside. So let me quickly just make sure, go to my home page. Okay, hold on. I hate doing this. I need somebody to help me with all of this stuff because it's hard to do the tech part when we're giving live videos. It's crazy, especially when the technology goes bad. It's great when it goes good. But what I was saying is that this whole idea of what's to come, this being bored, and now we're getting a little antsy. And so I really want you to think deeply on what it is you're missing. Why are you bored? And because you will become bored. And so here's the idea. We've all taken each other for granted. Driving on the streets, dealing with traffic, being upset with, oh my gosh, there's all this traffic. It took forever to get you. I'm sorry, I'm late, blah, blah, blah. We blame it on other people. There's all this traffic. Oh, there were so many people there. Oh, it's driving me crazy. But when we're without connecting, we realize what we're missing is that connection. And so we've taken each other for granted. And I think this is really helping us see that in a really clear light. And we miss connecting. And I know, I've had happy hours virtually and sharing cookies with Amy, my dear friend, and talking with you all via text. That happens a lot. But we're starting to grow impatient, and we want to leave the house before it's time. And so what this vision is all about is be still and be patient. And I know it's not what you want to hear, but we are being asked to just stay patient for a little while longer, because we don't want to leave our house before it's time. And when I'm talking about house, it's both literally and it's also metaphorically. And your house, your house is not only your body, but your spirit, or your ka body, your etheric body, your energy body. And so both of those homes, it's not time to leave those yet, and it's not time to leave your physical house. And so it's time for you to go through this process. And it is a process. And this COVID quarantine gives you the time to go within. So part of this vision, and I'll share it all with you. I have 6 pages of notes from the different visions, so I definitely want to get to it for you. But the day is going to come where this golden age of a new people, a new way of being, will be opened. And this is happening. And we have been waiting for this our entire life. This is something we've all been waiting for. And heck, multiple lives. We've been waiting all our lives for this. And it's thrilling. It's so exciting. And the vision that I was given on Saturday was this idea of reconnecting, coming out after we've gone through our cocooning process, after we've gone through this process. And we will reconnect again in a really beautiful way. And so although this golden age really truly is at what is nigh, we can't rush to greet it just yet, because we need to finish our process. We can't leave our house yet. So we're being asked to stay a little longer, to take a big, deep breath and go within while we cocoon. And I want to explain to you what is actually happening in this cocooning process, what has been shown to me. And if I get lucky enough to be able to share my screen with you, because that I don't know how to do in Facebook. I'm such a master at Zoom, but when it comes to Facebook, who knows? So we'll see. And if I can't, then I will just post it within following this visual that I created for you. Because for me, how I see, so people would, I guess, call me clairvoyant. I can see things really clearly, and then I'll get sounds and I'll get words, and then big impressions will hit me, and then it just is a bunch of like, okay, this is what this whole vision meant. So this whole idea of this process, I want to explain it to you. We're being wrapped up. If you recall, I've done a few lives here where I've explained that there is an ultraviolet light that is surrounding the Earth way outside of its atmosphere, and that there will be this beautiful white light that literally starts to begin in a certain part of the globe and then just literally spread to where it's almost like a row of dominoes of light that will just go around the globe. So I explained that part, like this is what's happening. And that was what, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then the other vision was really more about going within and being comfortable with this new way of being, because you will go crazy. So now we're in the okay, I'm going to start to go crazy. I'm getting bored. And this is about the process now that you're in, literally what is happening. So you are being wrapped in cocoons of your soul color and with gold. And I think I've said this before. I think that was in the last vision. And we are going to sleep, basically. And when we wake up with a new form, our wings will be outstretched. The thing that is happening is that what has happened for us is our ego has blocked us from seeing our true beauty. And so the ego is going to go to sleep, basically, for a bit, so that we can have a glimpse of who we truly are, so that we can awake. And this then gets into this vision that I had. There are, and I'll just explain it because it's best to just visually take you through it. And then I'll kind of explain it and take you through what they showed me, what is literally happening, and how you can then use it with your soul color. We'll do an actual visualization with it because there's a lot. Okay, so the first, actually, this is a second vision, and then they reminded me of the first. So the second vision was there's dark steps. So literally outside of space-time, it's all dark. Not bad, just it's all dark. You can't, there's no ceilings or floors or walls, or you're not on a planet. It's just, you're just there. And there's these steps that are highlighted at the crevice with a red-orange glow. And there's this sound, the Om sound is just permeating throughout. All you hear is Om. And it's just very deep, very creative. It's like this creative space. And at the top of these steps that are half steps, something that you would see at like a Mayan temple, for example, and there's many of them. And at the very top, there's this Buddha, this huge, beautiful Buddha that is golden bronze and glowing in this red orange. And there's 2 altars on either side of this Buddha, and there is fire, orange, red orange fire emanating. So again, this creative force that is happening. And we ask, transformation is occurring. What can you tell us about transformation? And Spirit says, process. It's not a process of ideas. It's that you are in a process. And then my guide steps forward. So I have a guide. We all have various different guides and we can work with the same guides. This is what I love. She's luminescent skinned and her people, they're from this far off planet, which in a million years, maybe in a couple of years, I'll be able to hear correctly what the name of it is. But they are in collaboration and partnership with Sirius, the planet Sirius, and Hathor and her people. So they are in partnership and they are ushering in, they are in charge of the Living Library of Colored Light. And so she stepped forward during this vision to remind me of another vision that I had last year. And it was at this planet of theirs where I was taken underground and there was almost like this mechanical, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like a big lotus. So this huge lotus that almost looked like it was plastic, like a sheer white colored plastic, like leaves. And they literally had me on top, sit on top of this. It was like a contraption. It was different. It wasn't like how spirit usually works with me. They'll show like imagery and so forth. This was like an actual contraption of some kind. And what had happened is the lotus petals, all of them started literally collapsing and coming around me. So what she was saying is basically we are being wrapped in a lotus. And this is a lotus that we're being cocooned in. And this is what is kind of happening for every one of us, because then what they showed is just all of the beautiful earth souls being wrapped in this beautiful amber lotus light. And we are getting basically a new blueprint. So this is what they showed. She showed me these white luminescent buildings, and they had like that sheen to them, like when you look at like through a bubble. Actually, this is really funny. When you look through a bubble and you see all that those beautiful colors, it's kind of like if you were to look at white buildings with a bubble blower right in front of you, that's what you would see. And that's exactly what they were showing, is that I was in a bubble and then looking at all of these buildings with this luminescent color. And this building was actually a mosque, and it had the white dome like a mosque has. It wasn't blue, like it wasn't a Greek building. It was definitely Arab, from the Arab world. And what they showed me was that they actually said the word Sufism. And now Sufis, they're a group who, per Wikipedia, follow the right path, and they display best contact, and they surpass all sages in wisdom. Sufism is literally the esoteric teachings of the Quran, and they're just saying that they have this wisdom, this ancient wisdom that is coming forward, that is also coming back to us. And so we're getting this new blueprint that is going to basically surpass the sages of old. So there's this wisdom that is coming forward that we've always had that is now coming back to us. They actually showed an archaeological site where this wisdom was being uncovered. And they actually showed it to me being somewhere in Pakistan. And it's been buried on our earth for a long time. And then they showed a body laying on a slab of concrete. And they actually just showed me as an example, but this is happening to everybody. So, and my third vision shows this is happening to everybody. So this is what's really happening to all of us. But they showed a slab of concrete with all of these colorful garments and fabrics on top, which is really important because it's all about all color, not just your soul color. And I'll get to that. And there, a shadow spirit of me, literally, if I was laying there on the slab, then the shadow sat up. And so you could see that there were two beings, one in physical form and one in shadow form. And shadow is the description of our ego. And so there's going to be a moment when the shadow will sit up from the body and it will dissipate. And what happens is it turns, what they showed me is it turned into all these different colors, almost like if you were looking at Star Trek, you know, when they go through being beamed up. It was almost like that, where it just all of a sudden the black then broke up into all these tiny multicolored dots and then dissipated. And so the shadow is leaving the body and it's time for it to go. The ego isn't good or bad, but it's time for it to leave. And the body remains while the shadow leaves. So this is really important, that during this time, this process of this cocooning that's happening for all of us, is that whether the shadow completely leaves, but it's leaving for a moment at least, for us to see who we are. So then this really important part happened. There was an Egyptian being that stood forward that was wearing an animal headdress, like of a horse's head or something like that. And all this light started to come down into the shape of an inverted triangle. So if you can imagine a pyramid of light coming down this way, pointing right at the heart space of the body. And there was a crystal pyramid above the heart. So this way, while the inverted light pyramid was shining down. And at that point, the light was entering the crystal on top of the body's heart and then emanating through this to the body, to every part of the body. And I don't know if you can, yeah, you can, yay. So if you look underneath the pyramid, do you see that cross in the middle? That can be considered the Cathar cross or the Celtic cross. It's also, if you count the other parts, it's an 8-pointed star. And an 8-pointed star is very important, also within the Sufi philosophy, but with a lot of others too. It's a really important star. I believe it's also the star of Hathor. I'm not quite sure, but I'm getting that sense that it is. So there's all of these things that are kind of coming together. And so with this, what's happening is the light is transmitting throughout the body, and it has this sparkling, vibrating quality to it. And you can almost, well, actually, you hear this tinkling of bells that happen as this beautiful light goes throughout your body. And this is your own salvation, your self-salvation. So what happens after that, the body sits up and it's different. Your body will be different and it's vibrating. And it's similar again to the Star Trek kind of beam me up, where you can see the body completely. You can see the eyes, the nose, you can see all the details of your body, but it's vibrating differently and you can see through it. It's almost like the body can travel wherever it needs to be. And the energy of it is vibrating kind of this gold. There's this sheen, this shimmer to the body. There's all of these colors too that are within the body. But there's also a lot of pink and it shimmers gold. So this is a new body. And I'll explain to you what they shared with me in the third vision, but this is still the second vision. So then they showed then what is happening. as the body is vibrating and shimmering, there are literally 3 access hoops that will rotate around you. So there's one that's a chakra point that kind of clears your ego field, and I usually see it as silver, and it goes around the shoulder line. So it goes right around here and then the back. And then there's 2 that kind of crisscross, like hula hoops, around you, like a big axis. All 3 of these hoops are rotating around your body, and they're gold. And they're moving so fast that it creates almost like it looks like this gold dust sparkle, like that's being created around you. And it's almost like you're just being wrapped in this gold. You're being wrapped in a literal cocoon. And gold is really going to be the transformer for us. Gold is a transformational color. Gold doesn't change a color. Gold just makes everything better. So for your highest good, for what you need to do to deliver on who you truly want to be, gold amplifies it. And so this is what gold is doing. It is around everybody right now. And so many people who are going through the soul color visualization, they're like, oh, I saw my soul color, but also there's all this gold there. I'm like, yeah, we're all going through this cocooning process together. So you are definitely getting you're going to see the gold in your soul color visualization. And also red violet is playing a big role, because red violet is all about transformation. And this transformation is important. So you will see a lot of this pink and gold that are wrapping around you, along with all color. So it's this higher transformation that's happening. So in essence, source comes in through the heart, and it emanates throughout your entire body, and it allows the body to transform and to be. And this white light will pulsate through the body, and it breaks it up and creates the gold around us. And then we are being wrapped in this gold. And the gold is using all color to wrap it around the body, and they're mixing together and wrapping around the body together. Just so you know, it's creating this cocoon for us. This is what the alchemists studied in the ancient, in the Middle Ages. There was a philosopher's gold that they always wanted to create, like taking the elements to create actual gold. Well, this philosopher's gold is actually eternal life. And this is what's truly happening. So alchemists in the past worked in mixing these paints and pigments to create this gold. But what it really is, it's not a real, like an earthbound gold. That's not what's happening. What's happening is it's metaphysical. It's this philosopher's gold, this alchemy of gold that is happening, that's creating this change. And it's actually light that's creating this gold, that's spinning around us, that's cocooning us and transforming us in a really new energetic way of being. And we're going to be different. And it's all due to color. So what's happening to you with your transformation is on a metaphysical level, but it's also physical too. Many of us have tried to force the metaphysical changes from the physical. And what I mean by that is, like, we know so many of the amazing yogis out there who would use yoga to transport themselves. I mean, if you've read the autobiography of a yogi by Yogananda, his experiences and what his gurus were able to do. They would be meditating in a room and then be visiting their disciples outside in the community. And they would see him and actually talk to him, but then he would be literally, his body would also be upstairs in his ashram, and he would be meditating. So this has happened many times. But now we're moving to, it's showing that the metaphysical change will affect the physical. And so this, could we be double transporting? Perhaps. I mean, they haven't shown me that much. They're literally giving this information like drip by drip because they don't want you to get overly excited and be impatient and step out of your cocoon. They want you to stay within your cocoon. So that's why this is so important. So the whole body will be vibrating these multiple colors. And it looks and seems like, from what they've shown me, that this body can then walk through walls. I believe that this body is the Ka body, your new energetic body. And this is something that we're just stepping into a new way of being. So let's see. Okay, the biggest message from that second vision is that our shadow self will be leaving for a time. It will be disintegrating, and we are becoming new humans, fully human. And actually, it's going to be really fun. It's actually going to be a really exciting time. And I think that's why they don't want to show any more than that, because what happened is, in my third vision, I wanted to know, how can I best utilize this time of the quarantine? What actions can I take for my highest good? And what I saw was me emerging from the cocoon and literally could just see all my wings outstretched and touch the wings of my brothers and sisters around the planet. And it felt so good. And I saw beyond this beautiful golden gate. And there were all these shiny, beautiful people by the gate. And I ran to the gate because I wanted to usher it in. I wanted to allow them in. And what I saw, Spirit told me, look at yourself right now. Just look at your arms and look at yourself. And I had almost like this white partial cotton candy on me. It was almost like I broke out of a cocoon too soon and I had part of it still on me. And they're like, it's too soon. You can't usher it in. And so that's when they showed, actually, this is what they said. Go within, dear one. The golden age is nigh. You do not need to rush to greet it. It will come to you when your process is complete. Stay within. Allow all color to permeate throughout and remind you of your soul self, of who you truly are. And when you emerge from the white cocoon wrapped by pink and gold, your luminescent wings will expand and touch the wings of each and every one of your brothers and sisters. Do not rush it. Allow the beautiful colors to regenerate and build you a new etheric body. So this is basically this message of where we are and why we can't rush and run out. And so this time of boredom is the time for us to really step into it. And it's alchemy in its truest sense, right? So I wanted to literally walk you through feeling this. And hopefully you're all still here. And if not, you're watching later and can hit a like. But I would love to hear what your soul color is and what you're wearing, because it's always so nice to envision all these different colors. I've seen blue, green, magenta, and it's nice to envision us all wearing our different and unique soul colors, because when all of these colors combine in light, it creates light. It creates the brightest white light. And that's what's moving across the planet. And so this connection, this time where we have to go within and do our work, not the work of somebody else, but when we are being asked to step within and stay within for a little bit, like literally, physically, and also spiritually, this is the time where we just really need to be patient and do that work. And you're like, well, what's that work look like? So I would like you, I'm, in my last, when I was trying to do the last live before it messed up and we had to start this new one, I had listed some resources. So I'll copy those and put them into the post here. There's many things that you can do. I've changed my schedule for this because all of us are working from home. Oh, good. I'm seeing yellow. Excellent. Oh, Megan, I think you're yellow too. Okay, so we have a couple of yellows. Okay, great. We have some red violets. We have some blue greens. I'm sure we have all the colors in the rainbow watching. So one of the things that I've changed is because all of us are working from home, or maybe we're not working. If you figured it out, when you're not in the office, you can get a lot done, a lot more done. So squash your work time to 6 hours instead of 8, and even less if you can. So that's the first thing. What are you going to do with those other 2 hours? I'd like you to use those other 2 hours for just being. I know it sounds really crazy, but it is so important. And there's some meditations that you can do by just listening to the body breathe. I give a link for Mia Bolte. She's a Buddhist therapist. She is such an amazing meditation teacher, and she has lots of Facebook Lives that are free that you can check in, and you can meditate with her for 10 minutes every week. And it's just sitting there and allowing your body to breathe. So that's one way, is just focusing on the breath. Ina asks, how can I find out my soul color? So there's a link that I will provide for you to go through the visualization to get your soul color if you don't know it already. So I'll provide that for you. And then you can come back and listen and do this visualization. So there's things that you can do with these 2 hours. So meditation is one, just sitting, watching nature. I mean, I watched birds create a nest, pad their nest for about a half hour yesterday morning. So there's all of these things that we can be doing, and just being within, being quiet, listening. You don't try not to let your thoughts take over. Just try to be present in the moment, and try and build up to 2 hours a day. You can do an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, however you want to do it, but it's fascinating. I'm up to 2.5 hours a day now. It's just really easy once you start getting into it. And because we have this time, it's great. So you can definitely take that time and do it. One of them, which is amazing, is for you to actually visualize and feel these colors come into your body, because that's exactly what's happening. So you may have a crystal pyramid. I don't know. I also have a necklace that has a little triangle pyramid on it. Or just visualize this. So lay down flat. So I want you to be laying on your bed or on your couch, and I want you to either place an actual pyramid right at your heart. Actually, just a little. So if you go below, like right where your ribs start, right at that breastplate, right there at that little part, you want to place the triangle there. And I want you, or just visually envision a pyramid, a crystal pyramid there. And I want you to envision, as you're laying there with your eyes closed, there's these streams of beautiful white light coming down and literally pointing to, they're angling in and pointing to this center dot. And then they are expanding out. And as this starts to expand out, I want you to feel all these colors, because now it's refracted. It's not this white light anymore. Now it's all of the colors in the rainbow, and they're all being pushed through your body. And I want you to feel it move down your torso, down your legs and into your toes. I want you to feel it move up through your shoulders and down through your arms and into your hands. And as you're laying there, just feel all of these colors fill up and swirl and move within your body. As you're doing that, have your hands laying flat, like have your palms up and your arms flat at your side. You'll start to feel your hands tingle. And as that starts to happen, you'll start to notice an energy happening in your hands. And I want you to bring your hands together to about this far apart. And you can even do this now. You might even be feeling this now. You'll feel this beautiful, multicolored, energetic, white, glowy ball be created. And just kind of fill it and create it with your hands. And when you, my hands are just buzzing because I can feel it right now. But as you're doing that, I want you to move it slowly. And this is why you're laying down, but you'll move it slowly and bring this ball to where you're fitting your head inside of it. And to where now this is all rotating around your head. And then pull it down and hold it above your heart space. And then finish it. And take time with this practice. It might take you might think, oh, I'll do it in 10 minutes and set the timer and you'll find it will take you 20 minutes. But take some time with it and really feel these colors and play with them. They're asking you to just be with this. Feel it, be present with it, feel the colors moving through you, create the ball of energy. When you actually put it over your head, you will feel the beautiful energetic connection that you're creating. And you'll realize that you're doing something more, not just with your physical body, but you will feel your body in a different way. So it's a beautiful, beautiful practice to be doing. And that's why you want to have your soul color wrapped around you, because this is part of you integrating all color, you connecting with everyone. Because eventually our individual and unique soul colors will drop because we will become connected. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share a couple of things. As you're going through this time of being, Carl Jung, and I put the quote up, I think, today, but he wrote in the Red Book. The Red Book was his journal, basically, and he did calligraphy and drew all these beautiful pictures. It's absolutely the most stunning book. And it wasn't really meant to be published because it wasn't ready for publishing. But he wrote in there this, which I found really fascinating. He wrote this to his soul. Life has led me back to you. Let us thank the life I have lived for all the happy and all the sad hours, for every joy, for every sadness. My soul, my journey should continue with you. I will wander with you and ascend to my solitude. And so he's basically was stating this at midlife, saying we all come to this point where we awaken and we see our soul again and we recognize our soul and realize, I think I'm going to go with you now. And this is a time now for all of us to be doing that. And here's another quote. This is actually from Jesus, from the Gospel of Mary. I left the world with the aid of another world. A design was erased by virtue of a higher design. Henceforth, I travel toward repose, where time rests in the eternity of time. I go now into silence. So there's that solitude, silence. Many people talk about when the ego leaves, there's no voices in your head and it's total silence. Yet it's a different kind of silence that hopefully won't make you go mad. And Rumi, what is the body? The shadow, that shadow of a shadow of your love that somehow contains the entire universe. So that is the vision. That is what's happening. We're all in a cocoon. Just know that when it's time, when the cocoon is opened and we're complete, we'll all be able to stretch our luminescent wings and be able to touch each other and be able to be together again. And until then, enjoy this time being and enjoy this solitude. So thank you so much for being here, everyone. I loved having you, and thanks for being patient while we went through the technical issues at the beginning. Bye, everyone.